Everything begins in 1940. The Nazi government forges hundreds of millions of pounds to smuggle them into Great Britain, which still resists fascism. The man in charge of executing Hitler's operation is Becket, who has the mission of infiltrating the counterfeit money into the British economy with the objective of destabilizing the currency and thus winning the war. During a night of explosions, the Birmingham weapons factory is attacked, taking the lives of all the workers who were in the place. Meanwhile, Thomas Shelby stays away from everything in an old ruined mansion where he continues to be haunted by ghosts of his past and writes his memoirs. His only company is Johnny Dogs, who keeps him informed about what is happening in Birmingham, mentioning that people still ask about him, considering him the king of all gypsies. While he was trying to concentrate to continue writing, the phone would not stop ringing. Angry, he decides to disconnect it, and before returning to the table, he sees again the ghost of his daughter Ruby Shelby, a death that hurts him every day. When he goes out to visit the graves, Johnny Dogs informs him that his sister Ada Shelby has come to look for him, bringing bad news that she does not intend to leave without speaking to him.
Coming to see you. She said she has bad news.
Tommy does not want her to enter the mansion, so he goes to the entrance to talk to her. There she mentions what happened last night with all the artillery workers who died. She asks him to return because they need him and to stop his son Duke Shelby, who after he left Birmingham has taken leadership of the Peaky Blinders as if it were 1919. Ada wants him to talk to Duke before it is too late, mentioning that if he continues leading in such a disastrous way, the law will hang him or the town will lynch him. However, even so, Tommy refuses to return. Speaking of Duke, he continues doing his thing in Birmingham. Without a father figure to guide him, he has chosen violence and indiscriminate intimidation, something that does not fit with Tommy's style. When Ada returns to Birmingham, she learns about the latest acts committed by her nephew and understands the magnitude of the problem. Faced with Tommy's refusal to return and take control, she decides to act on her own. She begins to gather testimonies, search for evidence, and follow each of his movements, determined to bring him to justice before his spiral of violence ends up destroying everything. Duke receives a visit from Becket, who offers him £70 million in exchange for helping him put that money into circulation. For Becket, the fastest way to spread it is through criminal gangs on the streets. Duke accepts immediately, seduced by the tempting offer. However, when Becket mentions that he would have liked to negotiate with Tommy,
much prefer it if I was talking to your father.
Duke makes it clear that now he is the one in charge. Upon hearing this, Becket tells him that if he is the boss, he must now know that what he is about to do is an act of betrayal against England, something that clearly does not interest Duke, thus closing a deal with Becket. Tommy is visited by Carlo, the twin sister of Duke's mother. She wants him to help Duke to save him from himself, since as his father, he is the only man with the power to achieve it. Tommy refuses outright. Faced with this, Carlo promises that if he does it, she and her sister will help him find the peace he so desperately needs. On the other hand, Ada confronts Duke, but as expected, her nephew does not listen to her. Even so, she does not give up and seeks help elsewhere, but no one believes they can stop Duke except his own father. At night, Zelda appears to Tommy, this time no longer as a ghost, but as a real body. She explains that she has taken Carlo's body, something she often does.
I asked Carlo to leave me with you alone for a while.
Tommy laughs in disbelief, but Zelda begins to reveal details that, according to her, she obtained by speaking with the ghosts of his past. Little by little, the distance between them shortens, and he ends up remembering old times. After finishing the moment of passion, she reveals that she knows that Tommy actually ended his brother Arthur Shelby's life during an argument under the effects of alcohol. And although he can no longer save Arthur, he now has the opportunity to help his son Duke. On the other hand, Becket introduces Virgil, deputy leader of the British Union of Fascists, which means Union Britannica de Fascistas. Virgil questions Duke, since he will decide whether he will work with his organization. Duke answers all his questions with confidence. However, everything takes an unexpected turn. Becket has set a trap for Virgil so that Duke gets rid of him. Without hesitation, Tommy's son executes the plan with total coldness, throwing him to the pigs to be eaten. The next day, Tommy decides that it is time to return to save his son. Johnny Dogs believes it is madness, but still decides to accompany him.
I'll go, and I'll drive.
Meanwhile, Duke, who was burning the blood-stained clothes from last night, is visited again by Becket. He tells him that now there is another body he must take care of. It is his Aunt Ada, who is gathering testimonies against him for the theft of the munitions. Becket orders him to finish her off before his aunt delivers the testimonies to the military police, because if that happens, they will order him to be hanged, and he will lose the 70 million. Driven by ambition, Duke follows his Aunt Ada closely, waiting for the perfect moment to take her life. Meanwhile, his father rushes toward Birmingham, unaware of what is about to happen. When Duke finally finds the ideal place from which to shoot, his nerves betray him because Ada is his family. Although he hesitates for a moment, he decides to continue following her. However, everything escalates when Becket unexpectedly appears. Duke tries to warn his aunt, but it is too late. Several shots break the silence, and Ada falls to the ground. At that same moment, Tommy, in the middle of the road, asks to stop the car after seeing the ghost of his sister on the road, a sign that pierces his soul and breaks his heart. Upon arriving in Birmingham, Tommy asks to know where his sister was taken.
Where's the body?
When informed, he orders Johnny Dogs to go guard at the morgue his sister's body, because before going, Tommy wants to settle matters with his son. Tommy enters the bar, asking to speak with the owner. While some recognize him and hide, others challenge him without knowing who he is. Tommy makes clear what he is capable of, until they tell him where he can find Duke. Duke, who was about to flee, is caught by Tommy, who throws in his face all the bad things he has done. Duke, who drags himself on the ground, mentions that he did not end his aunt's life because she is his family, and if he has sinned, it is because that is all he knows, since it is the only thing he left him when he left. After fighting in the mud, Tommy makes him confess who killed Ada, as well as the deal they made to spread the money. Tommy now goes to the morgue, because he knows that Becket will appear at any moment. While he waits, he says goodbye to Ada, regretful for not having returned when she asked him to, also revealing to her that it was him who ended his brother Arthur's life, and it was not an accident, but that this time he promises to do something good out of so many bad things. It does not take long, and Becket arrives at the morgue. Our protagonist, who is waiting for him, confronts him, unleashing a full shootout. Becket tells him that what he is doing is something good, that it is better to end the war with banknotes than with bombs, because that way no one will die. However, for Tommy, that is not the solution. Unfortunately, Becket, who hides among the horses, manages to escape. Tommy is recognized by all the townspeople, who extend their hand when they see him pass. Meanwhile, Kaulo visits Duke to tell him that his father is here to save him. She asks him to fight hand in hand with him, and when the right moment comes to give him the peace she has promised, giving Duke at that moment a bullet with Tommy's name, arguing that it is the only thing that can give his father peace back. Later, our protagonist arrives and serves his son a drink, asking him if he is going to help him end the man who annihilated his aunt. Duke, with certainty, answers yes. While he says goodbye, with great sadness to his sister Ada, Duke calls Becket to warn him that his father will go after him, that he will keep him informed of everything in exchange for the 70 million, thus closing a deal with Becket. Tommy meets with Hayden Stagg to prepare a whole plan against Becket and his intentions for the war. Tommy includes Duke in everything because he wants to give him the opportunity to prove if he is on his side. With everything coordinated for midnight, Tommy, before entering the tunnel and facing Becket, asks Kaulo to read his hand about what will happen to him tonight. She tells him that he asked for peace and tonight he will have it.
Tonight you will have peace.
Faced with this, Tommy tells her that he always knew her intentions. Just as planned, Tommy infiltrates through the tunnel while the rest carry out their part. Hayden Stagg takes care of the ships, while Duke meets with Becket to inform him of the plan his father has. However, everything takes an unexpected turn because Duke did not plan to betray his father. Everything he told Becket was part of the plan. Tommy, who was trapped in the tunnel, manages to get out of the collapse to help his men and his son Duke. The confrontation takes place, and the tension grows more and more. Tommy uses explosives to finish off Becket, however, it is not enough. Becket manages to get into his car and tries to escape, but Tommy crosses his path. Without mercy, Becket shoots him, wounding him in the chest. Before falling, Tommy kills him with a single shot. When he expected to be run over, Duke throws himself over him while he sees how it crashes. Finally, Tommy, gravely wounded, forces Duke to shoot him with the bullet his aunt gave him. His son refuses, unable to do it, but Tommy insists again and again, convinced that it is the only way to die in peace, closing his cycle and opening the path for Duke to assume leadership. When Duke finally gives in, the act not only marks the end of Tommy, but also a breaking point between father and son. By dying at Duke's hands, Tommy breaks the cycle of abandonment that defined them. Although he was not present in his life, in his death he leaves him something deeper, a purpose and a place that now belongs to him. And this is how this story ends. Tell me in the comments what you thought about this new movie. And if you liked this video, do not forget to leave your like, as well as subscribe to the channel.